Hi everyone, you made it to the EDU596 Gender and Educational Leadership landing page on eClass, and I just wanted to go through some of the things that you need to be watching for on the page so that you'll know where things are when I refer to them in the videos, etc. Okay, so let's just look at the general layout of the landing page, and you'll notice on this side, if you open it up, and you open it up by pressing this icon thing right here, when you open it up, you'll see all of the different modules. And the nice thing about having that is that you can just click it and it'll take you directly to that module. Of course, the other way is to just go down the eClass this way just by scrolling through, and you can certainly do that as well. It's pretty quick, and you know, 6 one, half dozen the other maybe, but just so that you know that it's there and why it's there. We have at the top of the page some general information. First of all, your instructor, and then how to get in touch with me. So of course, email is probably your first approach, because, and I do check it very regularly, so you'll probably get a reply from me pretty quickly. I certainly check it at least once in the morning and once in the evening, but most often I check it quite a few times throughout the day, or if it dings at me, then I'll make sure that I check and all that sort of thing. So I generally get back to you pretty quickly. So get in touch with me by email, and if there's a need for other kinds of discussion, then we can make arrangements for that by email. To begin and to get ready for the course, one of the things you'll want to do is get to know a little bit more about me, and you might have already watched this video, and you'll find this video right here. Now, you'll also find a mea culpa down here. I managed to say hello and welcome to EDU597 in the beginning of the video. And of course, it's EDU596 this year. It kind of goes back and forth between the two numbers. So I managed to mess that up, and I've already done the welcome, or I had already done the welcome video several times, had put it on YouTube, etc., etc. So I decided to leave it. So I beg your forgiveness, and hope that isn't too confusing. You'll also find a video that getting to know our eClass landing page, and that's exactly what you're watching here to take you through various information, various kinds of information. And then there's something that looks like this, and when you see that, you'll find that when you click it, now it won't cooperate, there. When you click it, you're going to find several headings across the top. So there's about your instructor, and that's the 10 things to know about your instructor, course information and syllabus. And so here's about your instructor. So it's like tabs in a filing cabinet almost. And so about our online community, and there's information about that. All of this you should be reading through before the course starts. Of course, you'll want to get to know the syllabus. So the syllabus, the key dates will be listed. At this point they aren't, but they will be there. And tips on accessing required readings. So all of that information is there. It's all information that you should have kind of in your back pocket before you get started with the course. So let's go back. And so there's that information, and always watch for these little things, because it always means that there's more information there, and I'll show you why that's important in a moment. There's also a section called announcements, and sometimes if something comes up that I think everybody needs to know about, I'll either email everybody in the group, which is often what I'll do, or I'll put it in announcements. Either way, please make sure that you check your EDU596, your UAlberta, let's get this straight, your UAlberta email regularly, because if there's information there, it probably means that you need to know about it within a day or so. So just check it every night, maybe before you go to bed, make sure that you haven't missed anything, that sort of thing, and just be aware of when things come. Maybe set a little signal to yourself for that email so that you know that I've sent something through. It could be about assignments, it could be about a change that you need to know about, that sort of thing. Okay, but sometimes it goes in announcements. Generally speaking, it's through email. I find that easier. And then we've got key dates, and this is kind of a handy dandy thing you can cut out, print off, cut out, and tuck in your wallet or put in your planning calendar, or take the dates and put them in your electronic calendar and so on, so that you have the information about when modules start, when assignments are due. So for example, form 1, your initial response, and then your final response, etc. And then anything in italics and bold will be an extra assignment beyond the forum. And you'll notice that there are 3 of them, and they start in module 3. So that gives us time to get set up for them. In a short course like this, it's hard to assign things earlier in the course. So that's just the way it's landed, is in the last 3 modules. But there's method in my madness, and you'll find that they kind of link to one another. So that helps when we're kind of moving through the course quickly. The next section is called Submit Your Assignments. And in most cases, you will be submitting assignment. The only time you don't need to submit anything to this section is on the form 1 through 5. Now, why are they there? They're there because by putting them there, I can put your grades in so that you have all your grades together in one place. So when you look up your grades, you're going to find your form grades, you're going to find your reflection thread analysis assignment grade, for example, etc. And everything will be together. So these, you don't really need to do anything in terms of your submit your assignments. That is, any of the forums. You can pop it in there if you want to, but you don't have to. Basically, I'll just be able to go in and make my post my comments and post your mark and so on right there. But you will need to submit your assignment for each of the assignments here. And sometimes there's a video that talks about that assignment that will be right below the assignment. Now it says hidden from students now because I may want to change it slightly. And so I don't want people to get confused, but there will be a video about most of the assignments, probably not for maybe for the final paper assignment, but each one of them will have a video, and it will give you, kind of more background information and that sort of thing. You'll also find that when you open them up, each of them also has the information, description, and rubric. So when you see this above, then you will find that's something you need to be aware of, and that's something you need to have a look at. So please make sure that you do that so that you know what I'm going to be looking for when I'm marking the assignment. Also what the description is so that you have an idea of what you're supposed to be doing in that assignment as well. And of course, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask about them. Okay. So that's submit your assignments. And if you have any questions about any of that at any time, please feel free to let me know. When you get to each of the modules, and there are 5 of them, generally speaking, the way they're set up will be the same. So you'll notice, for example, each of them has this little icon that says there's lots more behind here. Have a look. So open it up, and you will have preparing for the course. So here in module 1 case, it's slightly different than the other ones, but in module 1, what do you do here? Part 1. What do you do here? Part 2. So you start by doing what you're asked to do here, and then you go to the part 2 and you do what you're asked to do here. And the reason for that is in module 1, I ask you to do 2 steps for what I want you to do, and you actually do 2 steps after you've read the readings. So here are the readings. You open it up and you'll find the readings there. In most cases, you'll be able to open the reading by just clicking the title, or you can open them up by using the URL and opening it that way. Also, your discussion forum information is going to be here, and the forum itself isn't there, but what is expected of that forum and any information about the forum is right here, so that that information is easy for you to find. Everything's together. And then here we also have some recommended watching. So there are required readings, but there are also some additional, in this case, videos that I think would be really helpful and interesting. So if you have the time, take the time to watch those, because they're inevitably going to help you with, especially the videos are going to help you with the content that you're going through. And also in this one, I've got a little extra thing that I promise in my teaching video that's going to tell you about that, about this genderbread thing, and I promise that I'll post it, and that's where it is. Okay, so let's go back. And then you'll find the discussion forum is actually here. So when you open that up, it's going to be all participants, and you'll be able to add a new discussion topic. So you just click that, and when you click that, your discussion thing opens. You put your subject, what is it that you're going to be talking about, and then you put your information, you put your contribution there. This takes the place of, what you do in a regular class where you sit around a table with your colleagues in small groups and talk about questions and issues that come out of the readings and that sort of thing. So it's a replacement for that, and your participation in it is really so important in gaining the best from the course. So that's basically how all of them are set up. The only thing is in Module 2, for example, and I don't know whether everything is here because we're still putting everything together, but the same thing, here I've got instructor notes, and that's different than in Module 1. So what this is just simply sort of a little blurb that tells you generally what you're going to be looking at and what you're going to be learning about in this module. So it just kind of ties together some of the threads. Your required readings, again, are there. The Module 2 discussion forum information is there. And then in this case, there's an extra recommended reading. Now, an extra recommended reading is probably not something you're going to have time for, but it could prove, for example, helpful in writing a paper. It could prove helpful if this is something you want to develop somewhere down the line in your course or in something that you're doing professionally and so on. This will provide some extra information for you. So it's a good thing to kind of hang on to in case you need it in the future. Well, there was something else. Oh, yes. You'll notice that there are 4 readings here, and you might be thinking, oh my gosh, 4 readings? That seems like an awful lot. And of course, it is an awful lot. So I'm not going to be expecting you to do that many readings. You'll be glad to know. Instead, you'll be assigned a reading, and in the forum, you will be the designated knower or the designated teacher about that particular reading. So you'll get to know that your assigned reading really well, and you'll prepare something for your colleagues in the forum. And then there will be a discussion back and forth around the readings, because they're related to one another. They're all kind of thematically related, even though they may be quite different from one another. So you can have a look at what other people have said about readings. Now, what you will do is you will get to know each of the readings by, for example, looking at the abstract at the beginning of the reading. It tells you, generally speaking, what the reading is about. You might want to just, do a quick check through the reading and kind of see what it's about. Maybe there's a section that's particularly interesting to you that you'll want to have a look at more closely. But you just generally get to know that reading. And then let's say you were assigned the Coulter article, you would read Getting Things Done, Donella J. Dickey, and Leadership Through Practice really well, get to know that reading really well, and then you would put a kind of a précis of that reading and what you got out of that reading in terms of your own professional practice and what you understand about gender from that reading, so that your colleagues have a chance to look at it. And then the forum will be a discussion across the readings that each of you have contributed to. So I hope that's clear. we'll talk about that more, of course, as the course goes along. Okay, I think that's everything that you need to know. I hope this is helpful, and if you have any questions at all about the course, about the readings, about how to find something, please do let me know and I'd be happy to answer your questions. Take care.